WeWork. Now, their stock plunged this week, although it did recover. We'll tell you why. But in a call to investors, I guess it was their earnings call, their management said that there is substantial doubt exists about the company's ability to continue going, to continue as a going concern. So basically, their management has come out and said there's substantial doubt over whether the company can keep functioning, because they are just losing so much money. Their stock was down about, I think it was about 40% on August 9th. It was from around 22 cents down to around 13 or so cents, that it just plummeted that day, okay, after this earnings call. And this was a $10 stock back in 2021. So it's lost 90% of its value since the beginning of this year. And, you know, there's a bit of backstory with this as well that we can go into that's pretty amusing. So they had a sort of IPO. I mean, they kind of failed at first to do their IPO, and then they eventually succeeded. SoftBank stepped in and stuff. But their CEO, Adam Neumann, he's had all these crazy antics, which, you know, the whole IPO, the scrutiny on their IPO a few years ago drew attention to. And so, I don't know, there's some pretty amusing. I mean, he's an Israeli businessman. He took marijuana on a plane, on a private jet from the US to Israel. Plane had to turn around because it got discovered. Obviously, the private jet company didn't want to be like, you know, illegal drug trafficking.
International drug trafficking.
Exactly. International illegal drug trafficking. And there's actually an Apple TV show made about him and the whole company, because his antics were just so kind of bizarre and entertaining. And we can check out the trailer of that. It's Jared Leto playing Adam Neumann. It's Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway. And basically the story of how they started up WeWork.
Come with me, and let's build the future together.
What do you care about? When were you happiest? Make a business out of that feeling.
What do you think when I say workspace?
Cubicles, ugly furniture, bad fluorescent lighting, death.
Exactly. The future of work looks different.
We're selling an experience.
We
We need a name.
We live.
We dream.
We work. Who wins in a fight? The smart guy or the crazy guy? Are you crazy enough? I may be.
Is Adam for real? I wouldn't be with him if he wasn't.
The wife, she works there.
She helps him manifest things.
We're on track to lose $400 million this year.
I built this.
Enough, Adam!
Or I feel trapped.
You have to make them see.
See what?
It gives you a little bit of a taste. The story of it is similar to the Uber CEO, actually, who, you know, Travis Kalanick, who was forced out of the Uber board as well, you know, because he created a sort of toxic environment. With Neumann, I mean, there was a book about him called Billion Dollar Loser, which talks about all his antics and all a lot of the stuff that, you know, went on and stuff. I can read you some of the stuff that he does. There was an article in the New York Post about it, describing a sort of camping trip for, I think it was like 400 guests or something. According to Billion Dollar Loser, every other attendee slept on air mattresses. Neumann and his wife slept in a tent house suite that came with AC, heating, a king bed, 4 twin beds, several fridges, fire bowls, 8 picnic tables. The list of requirements also included a shuttle bus, a Range Rover, a Mercedes, 2 dedicated bartenders, supplies ranging from 400 plastic shot glasses to 2 platters of fresh sliced fruit per day. This was on their company retreat, which was like, you know, a week-long camping trip, basically. So he was just...
Wall Street movie needs to be made out of this guy.
Well, you got a series with Jared Leto, so, you know, almost as good. But
yeah.
He was just burning through cash, investors' cash, and they were losing billions per year. I actually had a friend who came from Japan. I can't say who this person is, but came from Japan to represent SoftBank for the IPO back in the like 2 years ago or 3 years. Must have been 3 years ago now. And he said he came to do the IPO, and then because of Adam Newman, the whole thing got postponed, and he basically came to New York and did nothing, and then just flew back. And they were talking all about his, they were sharing some inside stories of his crazy antics. And my friend said apparently he spent 100 days out of the year surfing or something. Like he wasn't even really running the company that well. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the funny thing is, so SoftBank kind of stepped in more, and after that, they're really controlling it now. And the crazy thing is, though, after the stock dropped on August 9th, it's now kind of become like a meme stock. Like in my opinion, it's priced for bankruptcy, right? It's like a 10-cent stock, but retail investors have been flocking in to. Yeah, I see your face. I mean, they're up 100%. So, I mean, good for them. But if you put
that sounds really messy. I mean, it may be a day trade or something.
Yeah, like a swing trade, I guess.
Yeah, not even I wouldn't even hold it that long. I'd be real. Given the market right now for commercial properties, and considering WeWork doesn't own any of their properties and they're leasing space from these large buildings, it's like, it's
got
up
a 5-day on that chart.
Yeah, it's up. It's up now, but see.
If you look at the 5-day on Google, you can see that it goes down and then it actually springs back up again to around 20 cents when all the retail investors piled in.
Yeah, they're going to pull out. I mean, that 10% is probably the max. The 100%, the 10 cents you would have made if you would have, per share. That's it. That's not financial advice, but this is Fire Festival in the form of WeWork. Yeah. I mean, also, I guess the end of the pandemic probably affected them too, because a lot of people going back to their actual offices, maybe there's less demand for WeWorks, I'm guessing. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're doing a startup company, why would you waste any money in paying $800 a month for a WeWork temporary office or a WeWork, a small solution? I looked into it, 3-4 years ago when they had the momentum. And I visited one of their offices in Michigan. I visited one of their offices in New York, another one in Florida. And the price was just too much for startup-based companies. A couple guys working out of their house is a lot cheaper than trying to get them to all work together in one building for $1,000 a month. So it was cool. It was a nice work environment. They had all the amenities, the coffee, the stuff where you're like, oh, I'd go work corporate because, they never want you to leave. But you can also use it for individuals as well, though. Like you can get an individual membership and then you can go to any. Yeah. That's what I was looking at, but it was still high. It was still high, isn't it? Yeah, it's still expensive. And if people are allowed to go back to their actual offices now, maybe they don't need this anymore. That's what I'm guessing. But I never saw it as being a really profitable business. I always saw it as like a loss leader the whole time, but maybe they'll pull it out like Amazon, loss leader for 20 years and then boom, billions. I hope they'll pull out of it because I think it's a cool idea, being able to just sign up for an office and go and work. I mean, if you're a freelancer, you might just not want to work at home. Maybe you want to be around other people, you want to have a coffee bar or whatever, If they made it more reasonably priced, then I think it would be better. They had, when I went, it was $800 it was a lot. But, the idea will live on. If WeWork collapse, we're going to see somebody else come in and fill that gap. But it's going to be somebody like that is a large commercial holder of properties and they're sitting on it, like an investment firm bank that divulges into doing this because they want to try to recoup some of their losses that they're getting hammered on. That's the only thing I could see happening. But WeWork itself, I don't